Good morning, I'm Carl with the Hondo Public Library. For the month of April, I will talk about the Battle of San Jacinto. Fought on April 21st, 1836, near present-day Houston, this battle was the final engagement of the Texas Revolution. It lasted only 18 minutes, but it delivered a resounding victory to the Texian army under General Sam Houston, who defeated the much larger Mexican force led by General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. In the weeks leading up to San Jacinto, the Texian army was not doing well. It had been retreating eastward in what became known as the Runaway Scrape, avoiding direct confrontation after the fall of the Alamo and the massacre at Goliad. Sam Houston used this time to regroup, train his forces, and bide his time. Meanwhile, Santa Anna aggressively pursued the Texians, determined to crush the rebellion. However, his army was overextended, divided into smaller units, and operating deep into hostile territory. On April 20th, 1836, both armies camped within a short distance of each other on the marshy ground near the confluence of the Buffalo Bayou and the San Jacinto River. Sam Houston arrived with around 900 volunteers, while Santa Anna's forces, numbering around 1,300, had set up camp on a low grassy plain, bordered by the bayou and dense woods. Overconfident and exhausted from weeks of campaigning, Santa Anna made the critical mistake of not digging trenches or setting up any defensive lines, believing that Houston would wait to be attacked. That night, reinforcements arrived for the Texians, swelling their numbers and boosting morale, while the Mexican troops, poorly fed and fatigued, slept unaware that the next afternoon would bring a sudden and catastrophic defeat. On the afternoon of April 21st, Houston launched a surprise attack while many of the Mexican soldiers were resting. The Texians advanced rapidly, shouting, "Remember the Alamo and remember Goliad," as they swept through the camp. The Twin Sisters, a pair of 6-pounder cannons gifted to the Texians by the citizens of Cincinnati, Ohio, played a crucial role in the surprise attack. Arriving just days before the battle, they were some of the only artillery pieces that Houston's army possessed. The Twin Sisters were positioned at the center of the Texian line and opened fire as the infantry charged. Over 600 Mexican soldiers were killed and more than 700 were captured, while Texian losses were minimal, just 9 killed and around 30 wounded. The attack was over in 18 minutes, but the slaughter continued for hours as the Texians pursued fleeing Mexican soldiers. Santa Anna was captured the next day, disguised in a private's uniform and hiding in a marsh. Brought before Houston, he was forced to sign the Treaties of Velasco, which required the withdrawal of Mexican troops and granted Texas its independence. Though the Mexican government never officially recognized the treaties, Santa Anna's defeat made further attempts to reclaim Texas politically impossible for the foreseeable future. Sam Houston, exhausted and eager to move on, refused to deal with the grim task of burying the dead. He focused instead on securing his victory and preparing for what came next. The McCormick family, whose farm was nearby, took it upon themselves to bury the dead and lay them to rest. They gathered the dead and gave as many as they could a proper burial. In the marshy land, many of the bodies were never found. After his capture at San Jacinto, Santa Anna was sent to the United States, where he was paraded as a prisoner of war, a disgrace that fueled outrage in Mexico. His release only deepened tensions, and while Texas celebrated its newfound independence, Mexico refused to recognize it, setting the stage for a future conflict, the Mexican-American War. Today, the San Jacinto battlefield is now a state historic site, home to the towering San Jacinto Monument, a symbol of the bold gamble that changed the course of history in a single April afternoon. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next month for our next chapter of Monday Memories.